Welcome to Eventvods. Watch the full game from EMEA Masters, Winter 2025.
Take the match. They want to take the game. They want to take the tournament, and they will do that if you give them the chance.
Okay, now let's see if they will have that chance coming into this picks and bans selection. So Los Ratones are on blue side and NBS on red side. Mahonix, what do you think is going to be the priority for LR here?
I mean, I'm not sure what the priority will be since lane swaps happened to be disabled now. But yeah, the usual priorities are probably gone. I think something like a Corki might be quite relevant. I know Crowley likes to play that a lot. And it can also be a flex
Oh.
pick and right give them the AP option.
Never mind. Cork is banned.
Big objective for Los Ratones is to win the next game in an unembarrassing fashion, which they have struggled with doing so far. So I think
Okay.
the Pantheon sort of gets taken away from NBS by LR. That could go multiple ways here. Belgium plays that, and played it in the past. Also plays it. Surely my boy Vector's can play it. I don't know. Still more of like a range guy, but still there's a non-zero.
Veteran, I want to ask you regarding this Pantheon. Is this actually just a regular good pick for them and a flex pick for them, or do you think they are actually trying to take away that pick for NBS?
Well, I mean, I think on both sides, especially on, I think it costs the trenders, one of them met me that right? So I think there may be an element of them wanting to play from their opponents, sure. They literally faced a Pantheon support in their very last game of NLC. But I do think they're looking at comfort. I was surprised seeing the Orion on the other side because I figured that might be something Nemesis to go for. There's the Gragas that I was talking about in pre-draft. They have actually gone for that instead of the Quinn, thank God. And Syndra being an early Nemesis staple, he was a huge mage player, control mage specifically when he came into the league. So this is Nemesis really going back to his roots. Though still remember the Cassidonia days of old. Miss those times.
Mahonix, tell me your thoughts about this.
I mean, thus far, I kind of like both drafts. I think Nightbirds have a bit more of a conventional draft for a game 2 with picking the Sinzao Oriana combo early, and then you can always draft Cassante. That champ is broken. But yeah, thus far, it does look normal for both sides, which I do slightly favor Lost Ratones in. I think, honestly, with how this draft is going, last time we kind of saw an even early game, but I think Lost Ratones are able to snowball quite quickly with a Syndra Pantheon core. So I think this game might be even decided earlier rather than after 2 or 3 Baron.
Let's see how this second pick phase is going to go. And we can see that Rakan and Jin are based from the red side. Poppy and who else is going to get banned here?
I mean, NBS open up, signaling straight up. We want an Oriana dive, full delivery comp, and LR just lock in, double disengage immediately with the Gragas, with the Syndra. I'm surprised that Poppy ban was theirs. It feels like a natural fit to whatever it is NBS might want to do. But Poppy has typically been a pick that worse teams have done to come in late on an objective, and they've been late to every objective in the one game of this series so far. It was a 50-minute long game. We had a lot of fun. So Poppy's really good at resetting tempo on that. You really want to go with Ashe, like a low mobility champ like that, with Oriana into the Syndra, into the Pantheon, into the Gragas. I think you're making it harder for yourselves. A third form of disengage and long range with the Trist. LR have the composition in their favor. They're about to have the range in their favor. I think they have this game squarely in their favor. NBS's draft was actually pretty good last time round, right? Into what LR were picking. But I guess Blue Side's just getting all the counter picks this game. They understood NBS's theme, if you want to be cringe, wholeheartedly, and this is the queen of disengage. Oh my god! Like, just love it. I'm in love, actually. I'm in love. That's beautiful. That's brilliant. What? No! Okay, we almost had it. Like encountered. Alright, he's scared. Alright, whatever.
Veteran, I have to agree with you. I think I would love to see that last pick Lulu, because I think it would fit pretty well. But we have a Rel and a Renata class.
I mean,
Mahonix.
Go, Mahonix.
Sorry,
Yeah.
I really want to understand
Too much.
what's going on. What's the idea here?
I mean, I think Renata is a little bit almost as a cry for help. I think it's really hard to pick support even on 5 here to kind of fix the draft. The Renata is good into Pantheon and Tristana, however, Syndra and Gragas could make it a lot more difficult. It does pair well with the Xin Zhao. It has a bit of ups and downs, but it's mostly just a counter for the Rel. So I think laning phase, because they didn't went for that Lulu, it's gonna be quite tough for Los Ratones, which I don't necessarily like. I think they could have finished it harder with the Lulu. But yeah, I think both teams can win because they went for the Rel. However, Los Ratones, they can snowball early game and it can be going south very quickly. And Nightbirds, they're gonna have to try their best with what they got.
Veteran, I'm going to ask you to hold your thoughts, as I'm going to ask them after the game regarding this draft, because now is the time to toss it over to our dear casters. Veteran.
Damn, okay, we hear some very, very sad veteran noises in the background here.
And also sad Lulu enjoyers.
Yeah, I mean, I get it. I get it though. What's your take on the draft? Actually, let's quickly catch up here. Do you have a preferred draft, or do you feel like it's even in some scenarios?
I mean, I love when best offs are long and we get like the maximum amount of games. So I would also side with NBS being like, okay, they have like, I think, a clearer teamfight plan than like in the first game. And also, I kind of like the idea with like giving Raining more of a conventional AD carry, something you can use in early game to bully your lane. And also like the combination with Renata, because Renata Ashe have so much damage in the early game, with her empowering the Ashe, working with the slows, and just bullying out the poor Tristana that doesn't have the range in the early game. And whenever Rel is coming to close, you just handshake her away. Like, please go.
Yeah, absolutely. I can see that. I gotta admit, I don't really have a favorite draft here specifically. I feel like both sides have their, meta moments. You have Rel, one of the unarguably best supports in the game, surely. On the other side, you have the Orianna, a pick that has been so contested across all leagues.
Yeah, we just had like such a whole prio. You can always go like for these easy ganks. You have to follow up on every lane. You have like the Gragas looking for the knock-up, easy follow-up for the Pantheon. You have the stun in the mid lane, also easy follow-up for our Pantheon. So I really hope that Velia uses this luxury and trying to cause as much chaos as possible in this early game.
Yeah, for sure. He definitely has the potential to do so. Also, Velia, we already heard it on the desk, likes to play some Pantheon here and there. Yeah. Already pulled it out every now and then in the NLC.
He has two games and 100% win rate. I mean, that's something.
That's it for him. You go, pop off. We'll see how that goes, as we can see NBS, at least for this early game, as you already mentioned, trying to put some pressure onto bot lane with Raining, obviously having a little bit of the upper hand here for at least the first few levels. I do like Ashe in the early game. I feel like she can definitely poke and hurt a little bit. And she's one of the easier to execute champions, definitely, and has been rising in prio, especially with the Fearless drafts coming out all over the place. She has been one of those picks that you see a lot more often nowadays.
Yeah, I think also she kind of profited from the lane swaps getting like negated, because I think now that we have like more probably Enchanter supports coming a little back into meta, it also kind of enables her to have like a better setup, getting like better lanes for her. She's been like really prominent in all those heavy prio and push lanes before the crazy lane swapping became the meta that everybody has to bow to. And I think now she's getting in a really comfortable position again, and also laning against the Tristana. She is really punishable in the first levels, but now Velia is on his way to maybe punish our happy Ashe.
Yeah, let's see how far he can go with that. Definitely puts down a ward here in the tri-bush. Hasn't necessarily been spotted yet, but now he spots Adi, knows that he's in a river, taking advantage of the scuttle crab there. Now let's see. He seems to be going for the spec port. No early shenanigans thus far, but Nemesis?
Yeah.
Well, Adi, that was not the flash I wanted you to do. That was a little underwhelming, bro.
Yeah, it was. And also, it kind of looked like it was sitting, but Nemesis was like, no, I haven't died last game, I won't die this game, that's beneath me. And so it just didn't hit, no punishment happening against the mid laner of Los Ratones, and both junglers start to be connected. Meanwhile, Crowny...
Oh, he pulls the flash and the barrier,
and that's
running
the
for
power,
his life.
And that's the power of Renata Ashe. They're just pulling out your own home lane, so that's something that will kind of keep happening in, like, I think the whole laning phase that will happen, because we saw earlier, as soon as Reckless tries to step up, he will be sent back by the Renata knockback. He has, like, nothing to say in the flame. So let's see when he will start roaming, and the answer is, I guess, pretty soon, because we have also overseeded the time limitations for like the lane swaps happening. So now he's allowed, he's free to move. It's 4 minutes, and now he's allowed to show himself on top lane, or like at least entering this area without getting his solar laners punished. And so he tries it because he knows on bot lane there's nothing he can do at the moment.
And I think it's also a very good reaction to Reckless as a supporter as well, because Reckless is a very, very mobile support, right? Like, he roams a lot. And I think some ADCs appreciate that, others hate it. Like, it's always like this 50-50 thing. Some ADCs don't like to be left alone early in the game, others don't really mind it too much. And Peto kind of has to match that for sure, especially now with the grubs coming up. You already mentioned the lane swap. We now have the Los Ratones bot lane on top side, and the immediate reaction from NBS here is we're going for this first Drake. We're looking into this dragon stacking once again. We already saw the impact that the dragon fights also had in the last game. They were kind of part of why the game took so long, because no one actually ended up going for that early soul point. So let's see if we have a similar situation here in this game.
Yeah, it was also something that Mahonix was like really poking like in the draft, that he was like, he wants to see that NBS goes back to like the original winning condition. That's what made him so strong in the Hitpoint Masters, that they were like a team that really played around objective, that really had a high focus on those dragons. And yeah, they're doing that. They're kind of, I think they listened to him, and now starting to contest the dragons more freely. Meanwhile, we saw the lane swap happening, the late lane swap, because of the changes to the system. So now they got the grubbies, and they also were able to evacuate, to escape this really unholy bot lane situation with Renata and the Ashe, and now can face Cassandra, who's totally fine. I mean, he's Cassandra. He will do okay.
Yeah, he should be okay here. Nemesis also very much okay. Good reaction from Valley and Reckless. Immediately going in, as Adi has to be a bit careful. Wants to get his chicken nuggets in, but the McDonald's drive-in is big and it's long, and Adi has to, at least give up a little bit of his chicken nugget there, as NBS are looking to find a punish onto Baus here on the bot lane, and Raining, he is getting the kill, tanking turret aggro left, front, and center. The barrier is just not enough, but in the end, it's not a kill. It's the turret bringing him down, so that's good news for NBS here after all.
Yeah, that's really great for them, and I also liked how long Peter was like tanking the tower, making sure that the Ashe has enough time to dive the Gregors in peace. And as we already said, it was an execute, so no big deal. They got a nice first blood over there, nice bonus gold for our Ashe that's feeling really comfortable. Also bought the Carl, so I think we have like a Raining here that has the chance to glow as much as he did in the Hitpoint Masters, where he was like really the big star of this roster. And I was also a bit like torn with the AP Kaiser last game. I mean, he did a lot of damage, obviously. He was the second in the damage meter. But I really like him going back to his roots, going back to the Ashe, because he already did so much in this game.
We can see Baus having to, not really run. Let's say he waddles away. You know, it's not really running. Can Goragas run?
He can.
Or is he more of a fast walker?
I think it's like physics. If Gragas ever builds up speed, he becomes like an unstoppable object.
Oh, like, okay, I see what you mean.
He accelerates to a point where he's like light speed and bombing everything away.
I love that. I love that for him. Go Gragas, you know? You go, King. I don't mind that. And now, obviously, Baus is in a bit more of a secure position. At least that's what he thinks, as Petto tries to delay the backboard just a little longer. But with Velia in the area, Baus should feel relatively safe here. Manages to go for the backboard and now roaming back to his own lane. So back to topside for him. And Raining gets to pick up another sneaky little plating here, which is obviously very nice for the Ashe as well.
There's so much gold. There's so much gold that they just like free-handedly given to their bot lane. We have like already a 700 gold difference, and Crowny also swapped back into his original lane. We also have like a dragon coming up in 130. So they're definitely going for like the usual lane matchups again, but yeah, the Ashe definitely more powerful still at this moment. And on the other lanes, we don't really see that much happening. We have like Syndra and Orianna peacefully scaling with each other. There haven't been much trading going on. Top lane has been disrupted because of the lane swap, obviously. But I think the next team fight, or like the next dragon, could kind of determine which kind of pace we will have in the game. Because we had the analysis talking about that we want to see NBS contesting like every early game object.
I mean,
every early game object could also be Baus.
I just wanted to say, Baus is like, we're not good for like, we're not objectifying people, okay? Let's just point that out. That's not what we're doing. But it's a kill. A kill is very nice, and I think NBS, they're quite happy with that. They are looking to, you know, get to their feat of warfare point, as Velia is now looking to find Adi in the jungle here. Reckless over the wall, coming in as well with the jump. Very nice engage there with the Magnet Storm ultimate. In the end, it's enough for the kill. But now Bobista and Stanik, they're looking to find more. Velia on the side, dropping very, very low. Has to be careful now as Bobista coming in as well. But it's the feat of warfare secured for NBS. And Stanik, I gotta say, he has been doing a great job in the first game around. I'm wondering if his impact will be just as big in this game, because he was definitely a bit of a problem here for Los Ratones.
Yes, he was. The Yoni was already on the sideline last game, really contesting everything. And also this Orianna, like good timing also with the Shockwave, making sure that the Pantheon ultimate can't make the great escape for Velia, punishing him. I also liked how Nemesis was like running top lane, maybe trying to help, and then midway just decided, nah, he's dead, I don't have to move there anyway. So NBS getting another kill onto their bucket list. And that should also get him into a great position to fight the next objective and then maybe go for the free objective to secure the next feat. Meanwhile, Baus has fancy feet and manages to escape.
Good for him, honestly, because he had no flash. That could have gone very, very wrong there for him, but it looked like they weren't necessarily greeding for the kill. They just wanted to put themselves in a good position in order to play for these Void Grubs, which they are playing for. It's the second set. They don't want to give up 6 of the Grubbies, so this is very good for NBS. They are catching the 3 Void Grubs. On the other side, we have the traditional trade of Los Ratones being like, look, you get the Grubs, we get the Drake. It's even now, and the Draking stacking has already been like kind of broken. So we're looking at a very neutral situation when it comes to the next Drake here.
Yeah, we're also already hit the first item for a few of the members in this game, and also Raining being one of the first of them, already getting his Yuntar, so he can start stacking freely, waiting for his 25% on crit extra on top. But him getting this item early is definitely really comfortable for him for like the later stages of the game. Oh, that was a really nice
arrow. Came from downtown right onto the target as Nemesis tries to flash away, but Stanik just flashes after him. Another kill in the back for Stanik here, and it shows like this player has impact for the team of NBS. This one is one to watch.
Yeah, definitely. And now we have the situation that we have 1 in 4 for NBS in the kills, already building like a gold lead for themselves. We already have nearly 2,000 gold as a plus so early into the game. And also there's probably one another plating adding up for the list for the bot lane of NBS, because also Adi is there shadowing his bot lane, making sure that they're gonna get the plating. Crowny knows this, of course, and is very defensive.
Yeah. I mean, as he should be. In this scenario, he knows he has to give up a plating here, probably. There it goes. But he also knows that he has some decent wave clear. It's always a bit of a dance on the blade
like
here
these
for him.
Lane swaps happening so late, it kind of relieved them a bit. But yeah, I think if it wouldn't have been for the changes, the Tristana and Red Lane probably could have made their life much easier, going first for the lane swap in the game and then moving back to the original lane state later, and now they were forced to suffer. Which is okay. I mean, AD carry suffering, that's not new, right? That's kind of part of the job description.
As an AD carry main, I can say you're absolutely right. I hate every second of it, but it is what it is. You gotta go through that if you decide to play that role. Sometimes I have regrets, most of the time I enjoy it, but you know.
And that's why you go mid lane, like Nemesis and Stanik, and maybe get like an edge arrow thrown, or otherwise you're just chilling with your life. I mean, look at them, they're having a great time.
I mean, so far, but it might change now with Reckless and Velia both being in the area. I'm not sure if Stanik will have a lot of a great time here because there's an ultimate being channeled there as we are looking towards this top side and Baus gets pulled in turret range. He's taking so much damage. Adi immediately moving up, realizing there's nothing for him to gain in mid lane, but this jungle is full of Baus and he wants that Baus in his pocket and he gets him. Wow.
And last game we were talking about how late Baus died for the first time.
Not this time.
And not this time. Not this time. We're going for like, I think the speedrun any %.
He's off the leash.
Yeah, he's off the leash. He got freed and now he's enjoying it to the fullest. But I also loved how like Rovista was like really
Oh wow, yeah, no, there's a kill. That's happening every now and then as they are going for the chase. Velia has to be a bit careful. Obviously, can shield himself here just a little bit. Steps forward with the flash, gets the kill onto Adi, and now Reckless is here to save the day. Ignite sitting onto Stanik, and there we go. Another shutdown for Velia. And what a great reaction from Reckless here, really just going in, being where he needs to be.
It was like call an ambulance, but not for me, with the turnaround from Los Ratones, making sure that this time NBS doesn't just get all the kills, punishing Stanik and also Adi. I think also Stanik was worth a shutdown, so they got like a little kick of gold for them, but also Crowny, look at him, he is so angry. He is so angry for what happened on this bot lane. He's gonna put all his anger onto this poor mid lane tower, and we have a Tristana, so this tower, the tower
melting.
is gone.
Yeah,
Really gone.
There is a crystal arrow, but it's going to Meppen Süd, as we say in Germany.
Yes.
But yeah, no danger here for Crowny, at least for the moment. He obviously still has the ability to jump out if he has to, also has the empowered plants here, so they take him just a tad bit further. And he should be fine for the moment. But there's an interesting question in the chat when it comes to scaling here. Some people think NBS draft scaling way better, and then other people say, who's killing Crowny the longer the game goes?
Yeah,
what's your take on that?
I also think, I mean, we have like the Renata, so we have like an enchanter, kinda an enchanter on side of NBS. So I think that kind of gives them like an advantage in parts of like how they can maybe approach it. I mean, they can also, whenever the Syndra wants to one-shot someone, I mean, at one certain point after the 120 stacks, she will have like, oh god, extra AP, she will also have like the execute happening. But that doesn't count for Renata because she can just give somebody the bailout, trying to prolong their life, and maybe can give them the edge. But I also think that in this draft, actually,
he's just, I'm sorry for picking up here on you, but that looked really good for a long time. He got ulted, he had dashes, he had a shield. In the end, he was underneath the turret and no one cared. There was the kill, but nice reaction again from MBS, just picking up this mid lane tier 1 turret, very important turret to open up the map just a little bit further. But going back to your point.
Yeah, I think, I mean, if NBS gets the lead now, gets the dragon stacked, and starting like with a gold lead in ahead, I think they have like a really big comfortable time frame where their comp should be stronger and getting the win. But I think also, I mean, Crowny, he's like also, I think, one of the, might be also the best AD carry in this tournament. Also, he's so long in the scene, so I think he knows how to play the Tristana, even though he might not be a Kadui. Let's hope he doesn't do the Kidui.
Well, as a German, let's hope he's not doing the Kidui, because that one hurt. It hurt.
Is the meme international?
I'm not sure if it is, but if it's not, Google it, as we're looking at the next fight here. Raining a little bit deep here, but they're looking to find a catch onto Baus. Berserk coming out as well, but Raining is immediately extremely low as Stanik gets the kill, and now MBS with the numbers advantage can move towards this Drake, potentially trying to pick it up. As Los Ratones, they're kind of hovering around the area. Nemesis trying to find another skill of the week, but in the end, it should be the Drake here for NBS, who get the kill and the objective in this scenario. They also picked up the Feast of Strength, by the way.
Yeah, that's like also a really nice buff for them, getting that really early secured into this game. I mean, that was a really late Pantheon ultimate, but I appreciate the effort from Velia, trying to maybe change up their fate, getting some exit kills. but in the end they unfortunately doesn't get anything. Meanwhile, NBS gets everything. They get their second dragon, they get the feats of strength, as you already mentioned. We're also seeing like being close to their second items on some of the positions. Meanwhile, we have like only one item per part at Los Ratones. So
Yeah.
I mean, the gold difference kind of slimmed down again. It was like way higher, but it's only because Crowny started to do so much damage to those turrets. T1 is already down in mid lane, and T2 is close to falling too on top lane too. T1 is close to falling on top lane too.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, that's true. It is pretty even on top lane though. Like both of these turrets look a little shaky. You know, they're both not really
They only
massive
lose like
anymore.
a little slight breeze of wind, and then they fall inside.
They're a bit more of like the leaning tower here because they're about to get blown away as the crystal arrow goes just a tap it wide, but they're looking to maybe play this underneath the turret. But we have a TP coming into the river, and the immediate reaction from NBS going for the disengage as they're having a TP coming in of their own as Bounce is getting super low. Pento just very far forward. Can he stay alive here? Can they do some work? They pick up the kill onto Reckless. It's a 1-for-1 trade in this situation as the plant is trying to save the lives here on the side of Los Ratones. But again, I feel like this game, similar to the first game, there's a lot of action going on. There's a lot of fighting, a lot of picks here and there, and I like it. I feel like both these teams don't want to give each other anything. They want to fight for everything on the map as they're looking to maybe go for round 2 underneath the turret here as Nemesis and Bobista are just meeting each other here in between turrets. All Out coming out as well. Velia in the area here is a little late to the party, picking up the kill here for NBS, and they get the turret on top of it, and they are looking so much stronger than I expected.
Yeah, and it's so fascinating because we have really seen like this idea of NBS going strong in the early game already in the first game. But it looked like as they were a bit shaken, as they weren't like really sure how to approach Los Ratones, and them getting really big difficulties and facing them in the mid game. But now this early game is so much cleaner. I think it's also way less shaky than in the first game, with them really clearly knowing their limits, when they can tower dive, when to go for certain plays. I mean, yes, the fight that happened before was a bit chaotic, but we saw how much damage Raining was able to do in this fight, how much he popped off with these 2 items, how much agency NBS is gaining from him being on a pick that has like these capabilities in this early game and not being stuck on a Kaiser that needs like 3 or 4 AP items before she can do any damage, if ever. And it really shows how NBS gained their spot at this tournament and how much their strength also brings an experienced team like Los Ratones a bit into questioning what to do.
Yeah, for sure. They have not been looking as convincing as some of us may have expected in that game number 1. They did pick up the win, which obviously speaks for itself. They showed stamina, they showed how to, you know, take it in the long run, but it definitely didn't look as easy as expected as they're now trying to catch in mid lane. Adi just caught up in the middle of everyone. TP's coming in as well and manages to kind of stay out and stay alive for the moment, but now they're picking up Raining over the wall, and there's not much you can do. The shutdown going over to Crowny, important kill for him as well. He needs to find his footing in this fight situation, and he does. Herald being spawned somewhere in between as well. Didn't really go far, so that was interesting, but I mean, it shows Los Ratones, we're far away from counting them out. Gold is dead even at this point, and anything can happen this game.
That was also a really great opportunity, like Los Ratones seeing their chance to punish first Adi, and Adi made like a really great escape by using the Herald as an escape pod, barely making it. But then after Adi left, there was like Raining standing like, so I'm alone in this fight, and then completely Los Ratones turning on that poor Ashe, sending her into the gray screen before there was Renata being able to help her. And that's kind of what has to happen also during the fights, that Los Ratones uses all this catch capability. They have so much single target burst with the Syndra, with the Tristana, so they should be able to annihilate the Ashe every time.
They're looking to maybe find a catch onto Reckless here. Doesn't have the flash, not really a way out for him. That kicks up the second kill. The arrow coming out as well. Nemesis dropping extremely low, and it's 2 kills for NBS. And they are looking to put themselves in the best position here for the Drake coming up as Raining is being engaged again. Goes down in the end. A lot of time being bought here by the side of Los Ratones as Baus picks up a kill on the side as well. It's a big shutdown for him. But in the end, NBS still standing a little taller here in that fight. They're looking for the catch. They're trying to catch Baus, and it should work. And then it's another kill for Bobista, who now already has several more kills than last game, and I think he enjoys that quite a bit.
Yeah, definitely. And I think also Sonic is having a really great time with the Orianna. I mean, we talked about the the cap comp with like him using the Shinzao as a taxi for his shockwave, and it worked beautifully in this fight. After the arrow connected, it was like so easy for them to operate the Syndra out of it. It's also so easy for them with like the Shinzao and Cassante to gain access, but actually we have Crowny trying to take the dragon, but now has to run away from the Cassante, but the Shinzao is far away from this dragon.
Yeah, he's trying to find a way in, Adi. So we get the ultimate from Velia coming out, making his way a little faster, and therefore managing to pick up the kill as they find another stun onto Reckless, but very weird TP by Baus here. That's a bit deep, my friend. That was a bit too close to the sun. Icarus had to die because he flew too high. That's what happened there to Baus, but anyways, we get the Drake for Los Ratones, so it's even in Drakes again. Small lead on the side of NBS if we look at the gold, but overall, Los Ratones far from being counted out again.
Yeah, the game is really close, and this is really something fascinating about the series. We had over 50 minutes in the first game, and I think also this could go into like an overtime. So now we have NBS being at the Dragon. They control the complete area. Also top lane is still down for over 8 seconds. There's also no DP coming in. I think Velia might go like for an solo mission and maybe trying to disturb NBS trying to take it, but he's really well being peeled out by Bobista, who's just throwing him over the wall. Really nicely made from the top laner from NBS.
Yeah, for sure. Great job. And also good call to immediately go for the Baron here instead of moving towards that Atakan. Usually what we see, especially with the red Atakan, is like you want to go for Atakan and then use him potentially to also play around these objectives, but they didn't need to do so. And Atakan, in this case, will do some damage to you, for sure. So they wanted to stay safe here, as we're now possibly looking at a fight here in a Tribush. But thumbs up coming out. I think everyone agrees this is not the spot to fight in right now. Not really nice positioning, very bad vision. As Adi might look for more.
They're kind of holding each other a bit hostage in the temptation of the Atakan.
And I mean, I would love to have this Atakan here if I were any of those teams. As we see the hostile takeover coming out, just going a little bit wide, not really hitting anyone, as Bobista again trying to do so much work on the backline here. But in the end, it's not enough. It's the shutdown for Reckless. I guess you can't take the 80 carry out of him after all, because he wanted that kill so bad. And now NBS, they have to take a step back because you still have that Baron buff. And I think it would be better to maybe play around that rather than trying to play for fights here, right?
Yeah, also they just wasted a lot of time. I mean, they had like all the cards in their hands. Oh my god, never mind. Adi just decided to make it worth.
Sure,
okay.
Of course. No,
I mean, why not? Now we can just take Atakan, right? I mean, the debuff is really hard, but they're just gonna take it, and then they still have some seconds of the Baron buff probably remaining. Oh no. Oh no, this is up for disaster. Oh no.
Yeah, this is a big disaster, because this is what happens if you play for Atakan when you're not in the position to play for Atakan, because your jungler was already immensely low from the plays before, and now Los Ratones is doing a great job just capitalizing off that, right? They see NBS making a mistake, they punish them. Baus going over the wall, immediately hitting onto Raining here on the side. That's actually huge if it would result in a kill. Crystal Arrow going just wide, and now Baus with the Atakan buff, not really in any danger for the moment, as we get Velia's ultimate going just a little bit wide. And now again, the jungle positioning not necessarily where you want to go for big fights. But essentially, what did NBS do with the Baron buff?
Tragedy. It's just tragedy. I mean, they have now 30 seconds remaining of a buff that probably would have been able to secure them some really massive amount of gold with like tier 2 turrets. They could have pushed also top lane further, getting more gold over there. And now we see also the gold being so nicely shown in the stream. It kind of stagnated. So now we have Los Ratones getting closer and closer, climbing back up to the same gold amount than NBS, because they weren't able to do something with that gold that they got from their Baron with all the pressure. We kinda had like a little confrontation with the Atakan, and then not really. Then they also lost some shutdowns on their carries, and now we're kind of at the same point than before, except NBS had the chance to do and also kind of push up their mid game with the Baron, but that's okay. I mean, it happens. I mean, so many teams sometimes are too excited to take Atakan. We still have a Dragon coming up in 40 seconds, and I think they also will gladly take that if that's an option.
Yeah, for sure. They do have the Atakan buff for another minute, so it's definitely the right decision to wait for the Drake to spawn here and not use that buff.
We have free items for Raining coming in with the Runas. He's still gonna do so much more damage.
Very nice scale of the week right into the Magnet Storm here as Adi is the target, but his own ultimate is going to save him as we get the hostile takeover for a bit of a disengaged moment here, but they're looking to catch. Lost Ratones want to go further forward. Raining is so low, but in the end manages to stay alive just a little bit longer, but it's not enough time to be bought because Crowny and Nemesis, they are online on this map and they want to play these fights like there is no tomorrow. Now Bobista, the last one standing, the last one trying to keep this turret from falling, to keep Los Ratones from scoring the ace here, as another withdraw has been already coming out. Reckless stuck in the base for the time being, waiting until he's able to move again. Bobista trying to do so much work here. He has the all out. He is the Cassante. He is decently fed, but in the end, it is the ace for Los Ratones, and they can turn towards the Drake for free. And that looked very convincing right there.
That scattered the week. The scattered the week completely scattered all the dreams and hopes of NBS, of our Nightbirds in this game, because he was able to get like 80 carry, to get mid lane with one stun. Then they completely focused him out of there. And now Los Ratones is back in game. They even got the gold lead after this, maybe also game deciding fight. Because I think before that NBS was like very confident. They had like everything in their hands. They got the Baron, of course. They had some oopsies with this happening, but they, until that point in the game, they were like the predominant force that was running this game. And now Los Ratones is getting back more and more into a game state where they can just burst out the carries and taking over the lead.
Now the question is, as we see another Crystal Arrow coming out here onto Velia, as NBS are looking to catch. I wanted to ask a question, but why not keep it for just a little bit longer? I'm gonna keep it inside, maybe bring it up later, as we can see Adi on the side trying to 1v1 Bowsy. I'm not sure that's your target, as Crowny picks up another kill. Now 4 and 1 on his Tristana, 3 items completed, 4 even. I mean, Los Ratones, they just completely put themselves back on the map here.
Yeah, they just completely, with like the situation happening that was earlier around top side, they completely manifested them back in like the position that can lead this game. And now it's for NBS to find like answers, for them to find the catches with the edge arrows, for them to kind of make sure how to catch Crowny. And they catch Nemesis. I mean, that's also an option. I mean, it doesn't have to be the Tristana, it could also be the Syndra, and that was a great catch.
Yeah, definitely. So the question I wanted to put out here is, you know, as people have been talking about Los Ratones coming into this tournament, this possibly being the first time of them meeting, you know, teams that are on the same level, if you want to put it like that. Looking at this game and even the last game, did Los Ratones win because they were actually better? Or is it also partly because NBS kind of don't know how to finish it? They also have like, they always have like a really good early game, even parts of the mid game, but it seems to be a bit cursed for them almost.
I think it's like a bit like two sides of the same coin. I mean, if you like the team that's more experienced, so you're probably more able to find the solutions and how to back your game up and how to bring yourself back into the game. With like also Los Ratones having a weaker, or like arguably a weaker early game last game, but then being able with a good rotation to be the stronger team, making it harder for NBS to find the winning conditions. And the same kind of also happened in this game, but like in a different time scenario, with like NBS having a really big lead.
And now they're kind of not leading the lead anymore, as they are trying to pick up a kill onto Nemesis again. Nemesis being caught out here several times. Maybe this is actually the one you want to play around, even though gold-wise it might not be the best choice. But why step further? There was one kill down. Bobista has to flash, has the ultimate if he wants to use it, but there is no reason to do so because he's going down right away. And they just seem to overstay their welcome over and over again.
Yeah, I mean, like, the idea was like, good, okay, we have to contest the Baron. We kind of have to make sure that we don't give Los Ratones the lead anymore. But, like, they did. Los Ratones exactly knew what NBS was trying to do, what like the idea was, because they know how they would turn the game around if they were in the same situation. So they had like a great catch. Of course, they lost Nemesis, but in the end, they get the Baron buff, and I'm sure that they will try to use it to get like these tier 3 tier turrets that are still standing on the side, use the Baron potential to their fullest, and trying to bring the lead at a point that NBS won't be able to recover from that, because now we have the problem that they aren't really tanky, that Bobista has like no business in trying to tank the Tristana and the Syndra at this moment, and also Pito, he can try with like the bailout to make someone tanky to kind of keep Raining alive, but if like really all the damage, if the CC from the Syndra, from the Pantheon comes out, it's so hard for him to play the fights anymore.
It's definitely going to be very interesting how the tournament will continue. For the moment, this is what we're looking at in NBS. They are looking to find their way back into the game, as they are now at a gold deficit of around 4k, which is not how they started out. Their early game looked very promising, but now they are losing their footing all throughout the map. If we look at the vision even, there are so many nice wards placed now here by Los Ratones in the spot side jungle, and there is no way for NBS to move into the dark towards the Drake. I don't see an angle how they want to contest this, especially with the Baron buff being still up, especially with Los Ratones still trying to push it further forward.
Yeah, and also it would be the soul. It would be the soul for Los Ratones, because NBS, they spent so much early game pressure around top side trying to get like all these white grubs, and now Los Ratones could get their could get their soul. Oh my god. It was hard.
The language barrier sometimes, you know. Yeah, I feel you on that.
It's there, but now they have like the chance to get their dragon soul again, and also with like being an Elder Dragon really early into the game. And I remember from analyst days, they were like really hoping, really like trying to get NBS to getting more pressure around like the early game, around these dragons, around these early objectives, because Dragon Souls can be a winning condition. And really unfortunate that we had Chemtech Dragon Souls both times, but now we have the problem that we have so much early game invested into top side and into not really permanent buffs for NBS that they're just gonna get run down, because they kinda lost their winning condition.
Yeah, they're definitely stuck a little bit here in this situation, as there's another very nice Scath of the Week from Nemesis, and he might be in a bad position if we look at the kills that he gifted over to the side of NBS, but his engages, his Scath of the Weeks are very, very fight deciding here for Los Ratones, as Bobista again, the last one standing, and it's another ace here for Los Ratones, who can maybe even look to end on this wave, because the death timers are already very, very high. They have the waves pushing in, and Los Ratones, they came in here to show everyone that they can be the best team in Europe for now, and they have looked so incredibly convincing. Even if they were shaky, the late game was theirs to lose. Wow.
Yeah, what a great game, definitely. From Los Ratones, recovering it after like a really, really hard early game, and all kind of decided on that Atakan. And maybe analyst Steph can tell us more about this really prominent